Hello beauties, I'm Megan Graham and I am here today to talk to you about things I wish I could tell myself when I was 13. So I always look back and I think about where I am now and I wish that I could just tell my 13-year-old self that it gets so much better. When I was 13, I was probably the most awkward kid you can ever think of. I felt ugly every single day. I looked for a place to sit at the lunch table and I just didn't feel like I had a place. I was shy, and it was just such a difficult time in my life. I've learned all of these things that are actually really easy to do, and they can change your life. They will make you a much happier person. First and foremost, most of the coolest people in life are different. The more that you try to fit in, the further that you're going to be from being yourself. And there is no one more interesting than you in the world. This is such a huge one. Remember that everything is changeable, and your life can change in an instant. Your life can change for the better, and your life can change for the worst, but don't lock onto that bad day and think that other good days are not coming. So please, whatever you do not lock onto a bad moment and think that's all that you're ever going to have. Just because everybody else is doing something does not mean that you need to do it as well. I know that this is a really hard one, and even as an adult, people will tell you, so-and-so did it and it seemed fine, or I did it, so you should do it too. But the truth is, just because other people are doing something, it does not mean that you need to do it. In this entire life that you live, you will have so many people that will actually dislike you. And if somebody says something incredibly mean to you, that is about them. That is about the person that they are. Because if you are a good person, you don't walk around saying terrible things to other people. The mistake that a lot of people make is someone says something mean to them. Like, let's just say there was a girl named Paula on my soccer team. And I'll never forget, because you won't forget the mean things that people say to you. You will remember them. But Paula looked at me and she said, "Your eyes are such a weird color, Megan. They look just like the color of urine." Paula could not have possibly been feeling good about herself, because who in the world would ever tell someone that their eyes look like urine? For someone else to say something so mean, it had nothing to do with me and it had everything to do with that person. I know that this is a super, super hard thing to think about, because when people are mean to you, it's happening to you and it feels like it's directed at you, but it's not. That person just acts like that. You have to let the things that people say to you go, because they do not make up who you are. Other people's opinions of you do not decide who you are. You decide who you are. The more that you just know deep down in your heart the genuine and true person that you are, the less that things people say about you will matter. If there's one bit of advice that has made me a happy adult that could have absolutely changed my life as a teenager, it was actually to follow my heart. Especially as girls, teenagers, and women, we are really encouraged to do all these things to make other people happy, but the truth is, you have to make yourself happy. So when you follow your heart, it's always going to tell you the best decisions, and it's going to teach you how to speak to people, and it's going to teach you to be a really good person. Your heart is always going to lead you to do the right thing. As long as you follow your heart, you are going to be a happy person. Happiness is a choice. What that means is that we all have a certain set of circumstances, and the perspective that you use when you look at your life decides whether you think it's good or it's bad. A really easy way to shift your perspective on your day when you're having, I'm not a teenager anymore, but that doesn't mean that every single day I wake up and I'm like, oh, life is so good. I'm naturally happy. I don't have to worry about anything. No, it's quite the opposite. Sometimes I wake up and, there's a lot of different things that I'm thinking about and I'm really stressed about them. The antidote to feeling stressed, to feeling depressed, to all of these different things is to really sit down and to take a minute and to think about what you're grateful for. What are two things that you are genuinely grateful for? What is something that if you didn't have it in your life, if you didn't have that person in your life, what would it be like? What is something great? Or what is something really good that you did today? What's something amazing that you did? What's an accomplishment that you had? Because for whatever reason, as humans, I think that we are set up to think about the things that we did that didn't work out. It's like I could do 200 great things in a day, and then I go to bed and I'm like, oh, I really messed up on that one thing. And that's where you need to reframe it. I hope that this was helpful to you. I really loved talking to you, and I wish I could reach back into my life when I was 13, and I wish I could tell myself all of these things because it was so hard for me and I felt so alone. No matter how awkward you feel when you're 13, you have no idea of what an amazing life you might have by the time you're 30 or by the time you're 20 or 25. So just because things are bad for you right now, just because you're not feeling your best or your most beautiful or like you fit in, it doesn't mean anything. Continue to figure out what makes your heart feel happy, what makes you feel good, and that's going to make you happy either way. So I know that we spend so much time trying to bend ourselves and being what we think other people should, would like us to be, but you are going to be the happiest and lead the fullest life if you just let yourself be you, and that's when everyone's going to think that you are the most interesting. This video is dedicated to Lauren and Caroline. Stay healthy and stay beautiful, and I really enjoyed talking to you today.